Hello, it's your financial friend Maggie. Welcome to the Inside Out Money Podcast. Hey guys, part 2 now. You ready?
Hey everyone.
Part 2. Wow, it's been a whole week. It hasn't been a whole
I know.
week. It's only been like 20 seconds.
It's only been 30 seconds if you're behind the scenes. So we just finished our part 1 wrap up of what we all spent in 2025. If you're not sure where you are, you're in part 2 of a 2-part series. And this is the Inside Out Money Podcast.
Go back and listen to part 1.
Yeah, go back and listen to part 1. You might enjoy this a little bit more, perhaps. But this is a personal finance podcast. And look, we talk about money. We'll do the short version on this one. And we've got all the co-hosts here. This is our most popular episode of the year. So popular, we tend to go like 2+ hours. So we turned it into a 2-parter. And go back and listen to part 1. We all shared the total amount we spent by category, a little bit of our learnings and how we think about how we did for the year. And now we are going to do some comparisons of some specific categories that we feel are a little more comparable and meaningful, like, car, what are you paying for car insurance and stuff like that. So we're going to start with food. We could do a whole episode on what we spent on food. This is like, I don't know why, the most popular one. People love to talk about what people spend.
Because everyone's got to buy food.
Mm-hmm.
We all have to eat. That's a good solid theory of why, Andrew. I think I'm going to go with that. Okay. Well, we're just going to jump right in.
Yeah.
We'll do ours first. So we spent $24,700 on food. We track some in a travel category. So for the purposes of this, we combined what we track, the food part of our travel budget and our overall. That breaks down to, that's about $2,058 per month. And we're a family of 5. We're a blended family, but our kids are here like almost every day after school. They're here a lot of extra times and they're constantly eating here, even when it's not like our day, quote. So I would probably just compare us to like a family of 5 half the time. And we spent about $10,000 total on groceries. That's about $850 a month. We spent about $8,300 eating out. Somehow $1,000 on alcohol and bars, which I don't feel like we even like go out to that often, but I guess we do. And when we eat out at like a restaurant, do you separate the alcohol portion of our bill? Look at Greg.
I do. Or if we buy beer at the grocery store.
Wow.
Okay, well that's
some dedication right there.
That is some
Wait, I
dedication.
knew that. How did you not?
I don't really get into the details, I don't need to know how the sausage is made,
Clearly,
yeah. And also we don't eat any sausage, so I should say we're pretty much that we buy a little bit of meat for the kids, but mostly a vegetarian household. And travel food was about $4,500. And then somehow we're drinking a lot on trips too. Travel alcohol was $700.
Well, Iceland is one of the most expensive countries in the world. So
that was like 2 beers in Iceland.
Wild. It'll be really interesting to see the Thailand trip, which will be like the polar opposite as far as the tickets are very expensive to get there, but the food and accommodations should be less.
Yeah, that's true.
I can concur. The food in Thailand is very cheap.
So that's our food spend. And I think we would like to, it's funny, I'm very much focused lately on like quality of my food, but I also do think there's some things where we could be a bit more intentional about where we are spending money. And I always hate to see food go to waste. And so we need to do a little bit more like meal planning, but I feel overall pretty good. I don't feel terrible about our food spend. Like it's about, and also like it legit, all food costs more. Like it just is more expensive. And so I think some of our food costs are just going up because of inflation and the cost of goods sold.
I just want to tighten it up a little. I don't want to have a huge drastic decrease, but I do think there's things we could tighten up. And as Maggie said, just be a little more thoughtful of our grocery spend, using the food we have, and then eating out when it's meaningful, but not eating out because we're just feeling a little bit lazy.
Yeah. And I think lately we give into our kids a little bit more than we should at times. Cause I do actually think it's good to teach our kids moderation and to, if they were in charge, they'd eat out every single day, and they're not in charge. So
Are they?
Well, I don't know. Some days I'm not sure who's in charge. That's fair.
Fair enough. Okay. Just because this is the way I'm looking at it on the page, I feel like I should compare myself. So actually our grocery spending was almost the same, but I have a family of 2 and you have a family of 5. So but it was $10,690. You were at about $850 a month. We're at about $890 a month. That's pretty. I feel like we've been around $800 a month for the last year or two or so. I put zero effort into bringing down our grocery bill. I just go to the grocery store and buy what I want. So I feel really happy about that. And then your eating out category, about 8,300. We're actually almost exactly the same again, but it's just for two people instead of five. So ours was 8,400, comes out to about $792 a month. But I break that down. So in Monarch, what when I look at eating out, like it's really important to me to separate it out in categories. And I know we've had this conversation on the podcast before. So restaurants are a place where I'm like, this is an experience. We went to a sit down place. This was like a date. And that was $5,585, which is way up from the year before. Part of that was we spent 2 months in Washington State. We were staying at a friend's vacation house, lake house up in the mountains. And so while we were there, it was like kind of like we were just living there like normal, but also we were seeing our friends. We were kind of going out to Seattle every weekend. So there was just that was much higher, and I feel really happy about that. I also separate out takeout. So of that, like 8,400 total, 5,500 restaurants, 1,784 is takeout. That's something I'm like, I mean, I don't try to bring it down, but it's not a meaningful experience when I grab a slice of Costco pizza or something like that when we're busy. And then the last sort of piece of that bucket is coffee shops at about $1,000 for the year, about $88 monthly. And that's a place where I do try to spend I try to spend like at least $50 a month at a local coffee shop, because I think the coffee shops near me make my neighborhood better. And I would like all of them to stay in business forever. Okay. Alcohol and bars. Okay. Compared to Maggie and Greg were at 1,000. I'm only at 43. However, I do not have the Greg tenacity to count alcohol at restaurants or in traveling. Like I don't break that out. I probably even occasionally buy like one bottle of wine at Costco that just gets categorized as groceries. But I will say that has come down over the last few years, which is partially a conscious decision on cutting back and drinking, and partially just getting older and drinking doesn't feel as good as it used to, which is annoying.
Which is also a conscious decision though, because you're drinking less because you feel crappy in the morning the next day.
Yeah, I'd rather just still be drinking more and feeling good.
I know.
That's not on the table right now. So our total was $19,600 for the year. That brings us to about $1,633 a month. We have been averaging about $1,300 a month for at least like the last 2 years. And the difference was that restaurant spending. Out of the $5,500 we spent in restaurants, like almost half of it was in that 2 months that we were in Washington. So it's something I'll be mindful of if we go back and do it again next year, but I'm not too stressed about it. Popcorn, Andrew.
All right, here we go. So for our family of four, our total was $16,300 across groceries, eating out. So on the grocery line, $12,600, about $1,000 a month is typically what we've been at, and feel good about that. On our eating outside restaurants, $2,300. I'd probably say almost half of that is just the vacation. So we don't split out when we're on vacation in restaurants. So Universal and the Florida spring break and summer trip. That's actually that may even be $2,000 of that for the restaurant spend. And then I differentiate between restaurants and what I have the fast food budget. It's not all fast food. It's just basically restaurants are where we're sitting down, and fast food is we're taking it. It's either a counter or to go. It's something quick serve or fast food. So that was a little bit higher because when I'm working at the bike shop, I'm typically finishing a ride and I grab a sub from Publix. So that was a little bit higher than usual, but my kids will grab Chick-fil-A sometimes, or they like going to Willie's. Like that's all part of like the quote fast food budget. So eating out total was $3,700. And then alcohol and bars was a grand sum of $0 for us. Both Crystal and I don't drink. So that's a good savings for us. And then drum roll, the one that everyone loves, is the coffee shop spend. $46. Crystal was with the coffee
total. 46 total.
For the year. Yeah, $46 for the year was the coffee shop budget.
Outrageous.
I mean, I should have put that in the goals. Like, we got to cut that in half at least. We got to cut that down to $25 for 26.
Vending machine coffee only from here on out.
Crystal does drink coffee every single morning, and she makes it at home. And so, I mean, she's a big coffee drinker, but she makes it at home. And really, almost all of that $46 is when we're traveling, when she's grabbing a coffee when we're on the road. So, yeah.
Yeah. I also make coffee at home every morning. And then I also like a little afternoon drink, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our breakout.
You know how there's that show, like, what was it called? Like Husband Swap or some Wife Swap or something like that? I think it'd be fun to just go like, yeah, Wife Swap. I want to like go like live in Andrew's house for a week and like send Andrew to, you know, I just want to feel on both sides. I want to see what happens when Crystal's in our house. And I'm like, okay, we're having dinner at Starbucks tonight, guys. We had our Christmas Eve dinner at Starbucks. It was actually quite affordable.
Nice.
Not a lot of places were open. Someone had not prepared. That was me. And we had to eat something out.
I think part of this spending is a little bit of stage of life for us right now. My daughter just turned 12 yesterday and my son is 9, and they are fairly picky eaters. They don't eat out. They don't like eating out much. They like Chick-fil-A or Willie's are like their two go-tos. They don't like going to restaurants because it's quote too they don't like fancy food.
Yeah. They just want some chicken tenders.
Right. Correct. Exactly. And so I think there's some of that. Like yesterday for my daughter's birthday, I said to her, I was like, do you want to go to dinner? She's like, no, I want mom to make fondue.
Aww.
Like they love fondue. Aww. It's like it's our New Year's tradition. On New Year's Eve, they do fondue. She would much rather have Crystal make fondue at home than go out to dinner. So
that's so sweet.
You know,
that's really nice.
That is really sweet.
Yeah.
It won't last.
I will say Mike
I know.
really
Yeah.
nice.
And I'm like, I'm here, Maggie, talking about sushi.
Don't introduce him to sushi.
Oh no, Erica, was that you? The sushi?
That was
me,
Erica,
that was you.
Our
Yeah.
kid
All
likes
right. Don't
sushi
introduce.
I think that what's interesting to me is like our kids like the food from eating out. They do not like the experience. Like you'll go out. I probably said this before. You'll go
That's
out.
right.
To a
You do
meal
takeout a lot. Yeah, you said that.
Maggie, they get that from you.
No, it's them. We will be at a restaurant, and I'm just like, I just got my food. I'm still eating, and they're like done, and they're like, "Can we go now?" And I'm like, "I just took my second bite. Like you have to wait for everyone at the table to finish their food, then we will go home." They're very impatient. They don't want the experience. I also like to eat at home. But
that's why we started doing like dinner night out with our kids, because we realized they miss like basic learning how to be citizens in a restaurant, like with the COVID years. And we're like, we need to introduce you how to like sit at a table without like just falling over sideways and laying on the booth. You know, like how do you sit up? How do you talk to someone in a restaurant? You need to order for yourself.
Yeah, close your mouth while you're.
We like eating out, and you're often with us, so like get better at this experience.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, I mean this is not a competition, but if it were, you won, Erica. Why don't you go through your food?
I won again by losing, but I guess since it's not a competition, it doesn't matter. Okay, so yeah, my groceries $18,703. Probably all of that is either Costco or Trader Joe's. Eating out, $17,693. That I think part of that is vacation eating out, but it's just I gotta like go through these numbers again because I know they're right, but it's like, geez, what do we ever eat at home? Part of the eating out is alcohol. Our tabs are often big. We do drink when we go out, and like if we go to a nice restaurant, we'll often do the wine pairing. So that's part of the experience for us. But then we have a separate spirits tab, which is alcohol and bars. But this isn't bars. This is just like the landlord has a kegerator. I go to this one wine shop that I really like. So you get like 10% off if you get 6 bottles. So I'll often like stock up for a little bit. But like you, Liz, I'm just drinking less and less, which is like good and bad. So I'll be curious to see what our spirits budget is next year.
Didn't you have something where there was a wine shop in your neighborhood that you could invest in or something?
Yeah, so we invested in that one. That's the one that I still
That's
go
your
to.
go-to. Okay.
Yeah, that's my go-to. I mean, like if we're hosting, like we host New Year's Eve at our house, like I'll get like grocery store wine. I'm not gonna get like the nice stuff to just like put out when people are mindlessly drinking it. But I try to buy like nicer quality wine to help with like the after effects of how they feel. And also like I'm gonna be less inclined to open a bottle just to have one glass if like I don't want it to go bad. So I kind of consciously did that to be like, do I actually want to have a glass of wine right now? But then that's the problem because then the keg's there. So it's like, well, but I could have one glass of beer. But anyway, so our coffee budget is 726, or our coffee spend is $726. We get a monthly coffee subscription. The landlord started doing it. It's called Atlas Coffee Club, and you get coffee, 2 bags of coffee from somewhere in the world for like local coffee vendors. And that's like, it gets us through a majority of the month, not the full month. So we might still have to go out and buy like local grocery store coffee. But our kids have discovered boba tea, and that is in that, and that is kind of pricey. And like they use it. Greg, I see you smiling, or your kids. Maybe it's all kids. Boba tea and sushi and matcha.
Yeah.
I don't even know what boba tea is.
I think it's TikTok that's driving all of these overconsumption patterns with kids, you know? But yeah, they love boba tea. They like sushi. There was even
it's
an
like
article the other
boba tea.
day.
Okay, now I'm
Boba tea. Boba is the tapioca pearls in the like it's like a Asian style like milk tea. Thai, I think. I don't know if it's Thai. It's yeah. You could get like Thai iced tea, but they're boba shops and you can alter what goes in it. It's high sugar. But anyway, so they discover boba tea, but also like something for me, and I'm okay with this, is like since I work from home and don't have coworkers, if I want to see someone, a lot of it might just be like I don't have time to go like meet for happy hour like I might have back in the day. So let's go meet for coffee. That's like my social time. Like I go to the gym, there's a coffee shop right next door. And at least once a week, we'll like all go and hang out for like a half hour afterwards and sit and talk and have coffee. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's ritualistic because it is like I need my caffeine, but it is how I socialize now that I'm like very much alone for most of my day and I'm an extrovert.
That's important.
Erica, if you are meeting with people about potential work opportunities, you can expense that coffee or that lunch meal.
Yes.
So you know.
Well, I just had to meet with a friend to notarize my notary form to renew my notary. And so I'm expensing that. Okay, so our total, which is just like, makes me want to throw up, is $38,939. So seeing it like that really makes me want to figure out like, what are we doing that it's so high? I know what we're doing. How do we make it a little different for next year? That feels a little too high.
Do you think, I know the landlord highly values food spending. It's like a very intentional category for him. By the way, the landlord is what Erica affectionately refers to her husband as, to keep his name anonymous. But do you think he would be like, have any feelings about that number? Or do you think he'd be like, oh yeah, no, that's right where I thought it would have been, and I'm fine with that?
He gets kind of like prickly around like grocery shopping. So I actually, this is a good question for him because like I hate grocery shopping, yet I feel like I do most of it because like if I'm the one to do the Costco runs. So I wonder if I like task him with doing it, if it will look any different.
Also, I just think, and that's why we're doing it, but it's interesting as you look at other people's, you know?
Yeah.
But honestly, yours compares to Liz if you think of, you know, your kids as
That's
two adults.
true.
They're about adult size now. So you guys are on a very similar track.
Yeah. And I will say like our grocery bill is kind of upped because we've become the house that has like, we're like the hangout house, or like we do carpool with our kids, the boy ones basketball team. And so we might have like 5 12-year-old boys here. And so I don't want to embarrass them with snacks. I already did that once. It did not go well. So like I just like try to have a lot of food on hand because like they need it before practice. And so I've had to like up what we have. So there's a little more spending there. Yeah. In like one sitting, like a whole Costco bag of goldfish in one sitting.
So the next one, we're going to do cell phones. I always think this is an interesting one. Cell phones is actually what motivated me to start expense tracking in the first place. It was some of the very first noticeable things I did to reduce expenses many, many years ago. We spent about $720 this past year on cell phones. That is 3 different phone plans. So Greg and myself, and then one of the kids is on our phone plan versus the other 2 kids are on Greg's ex-wife's plan. And then there's a small portion of the adult lines that we have allocated as business expenses. But ultimately, just for quick numbers, we are spending about $35 a month per plan. So our visible, like my visible plan is the $35 a month plan. And I've been incredibly happy with the service. I use it as a hotspot all the time. It's been great for us and I love it. But Liz, you got us beat. Where are you at?
Our total for 2 people is $420, like plus whatever the tax is. I didn't go and look at that. So you convinced me to switch to Visible. I think you're on the like premium Visible plan. So mine's actually only $20 a month instead of yours that's $35 a month. But I really like it. I also hotspot all the time. I wasn't on Unlimited before, but I decided to splurge and spend an extra $5 a month so that I don't have to pre-download all my podcasts before I leave the house and go for a walk. And I will say it's been like a very luxury experience. And then, so I pay $20 a month. And then my partner is actually still on Mint Mobile, which is only $15 a month, but it caps out at 5 gigs. But like, I will use all the data. If it's there, I'll use it. And my partner like doesn't even hit the 5 gigs every month. And this is just like a tiny little bonus, but Visible is Verizon and Mint is T-Mobile. So I do feel like we kind of have a hedge on coverage. Like when we were road tripping to Washington and back, sometimes one of us would have coverage, sometimes the other one didn't. So it kind of felt like a little risk management in terms of being
That's smart
without bars.
Yeah, that's a cool strategy for a reason to be on, 2 different ones in a household. Okay, Andrew, where are you?
We're at $600 for the year, so pretty straightforward. Crystal and I are both on Mint. We're paying $20 a month each for 15 gigs. We were on the $15 a month for 5 gig plan at the beginning of last year, and then we switched because once I wasn't in the office every day, I was going over that 5 gig. Crystal used to go over the 5 gig and complain about it all the time, but so I gave her that gift to really splurge up to that $20 a month for the 15 gigs.
Got her that and a coffee.
Yeah, that and a coffee, right?
That's
exactly.
Romance.
And then my daughter's Apple Watch, we've got her set up on US Mobile for $10 a month. I really wish Mint would offer a less expensive like kids line for the Apple Watches, but they don't. So US Mobile, $10 a month. It's great.
Yeah, I can't remember what Visible's is, but Visible does offer. I added my Apple Watch, and now we pay like $5 a month. I think
It was included in the plan we had.
Oh, that was one of the reasons we upgraded from the cheaper Visible plan, right? That is included.
Yep. Nice.
Okay, Erica.
All right. Well, shocker. Mine's way higher. It's 1923. I think this includes my phone was being paid off from a couple years ago. So that includes part of the charge. I think I paid it off like towards the end of 2025. So that's a significant amount of that. But it's about $70 a month for my phone, which is insane looking at just me. But it's unlimited. And it has my son's Apple Watch on there, which is $10. And then the landlord just switched from Google Fi to Mint, and he got I think his is like $200 a year because he used a friend's promo code, and then that friend got something. So I'm intrigued by switching to Mint if I can be assured that it's going to work.
So Mint is the exact same network as T-Mobile, and so you should see no difference.
Okay, so the only thing I'm going off of is Maggie and I were in Durango for a girls' trip some years ago, and one of our friends had Mint. And granted, this was like a handful of years ago, and she had no service, and she was like, "Nobody lose me because I can't get a hold of anybody."
There is some throttling at times, right? But
Yeah,
I don't.
there is throttling, and well, but here's the other thing too for me. So because this is now a business expense, I switched it to my business payment. So like it's kind of a wash, which doesn't necessarily mean that I can't switch to Mint, but I just switched our home internet to T-Mobile as well. So I like having everything in one place. Also, this does not equal 1923 $1,923, but I get free MLB extra or free MLB TV once a year, which is like $150. But I get it for free through T-Mobile. So like there are all these things where like they have really good perks. Like we've used it for travel. They have all these like T-Mobile Life things that they offer, and like it's actually come in handy. Like we got a hotel in Brazil when we went for a wedding that was cheaper through T-Mobile than like through the wedding website.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, T-Mobile does have a lot of perks. I feel like they used to have that thing on Tuesdays. You would get a free something somewhere, and
Yeah.
you take advantage of that. I mean, you can definitely make it worth it. I'm surprised. I think this was maybe what you were getting at, Maggie. I'm surprised your friend didn't have service in Durango, because I run into like throttling because I have the cheap Visible. So it's the same as Verizon. But I remember being somewhere. I was like downtown. There was a game, and like my phone was just going really slow. And I think it's because I was like bottom priority compared to the people paying a little bit more. But
That was one of the reasons I switched to the highest visible plan, is because I am on the one that no longer does any throttling, and I pay a little more for it, but I still pay a lot less than if I was on an equivalent Verizon plan, because we're essentially on a prepaid plan. It is a minor difference, but there's a version that is the exact same level of service as what you're getting. You are kind of considered on like a postpaid, not a prepaid plan, Erica. And I mean, you could cut your cost in half if you wanted to. And I would argue it's not quite a wash, because you are giving up business profit by spending that much on it. But if it's not stressing you out, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, the landlord just switched, so maybe I'll see. Like, I just want to see how it works. Like, we have some friends who are on it, and we were at a concert with them, and we were trying to text them in the venue, and like, they just couldn't send the text. Like, it just wasn't going through. I'm like, what's the point of paying cheap money for something that doesn't work? Like, yeah. So I just want to see how it works, and maybe in like a year, I'm like, okay, yeah, I see that it worked for the landlord well here, and then I'll switch over.
yeah, and in the meantime, you have both. I mean, you could also again do what we did, which is like have one on a Verizon, which is Visible, and one on
Yeah.
T-Mobile, so you kind of had your bets. But also, you could pay. Like I'm on the version of Visible where I get throttled because I don't really care. I'm on Wi-Fi most of the time, anyways. And Maggie is paying a little bit more to be on the version where you don't get throttled, but that would still be less than what you're paying now. Is kind of, but
Yeah.
we make these things confusing on purpose. Like it's.
Maybe I'll give myself 6 months and see.
I sometimes I half jokingly rationalize it too, that I'm like, well, when I'm at a concert, I really should not be on my phone anyways. So, but there are times that it is like quite annoying to try to get, if you're
Well,
trying
we
to
were
meet up
trying
with.
to find them. Yeah,
Yes,
we were
yes.
trying to find each other.
And with kids, like I always want them to have a good signal and stuff. So, okay, we are going to move on to health and fitness.
So our health and fitness spend for last year was about 2,800. That included, I think the biggest bulk of that was 3 months of personal training that Maggie did and a used Peloton purchase. We also just bought some miscellaneous home workout stuff. But other than that, we don't have a gym membership or anything. So it's mostly just those categories.
When I was doing training at a gym, and I hadn't been to a gym in years, I was introduced to some nice pieces of like really simple equipment, just like a medicine slam ball and some step riser. I forgot what they're called, but jump boxes, stuff like that. That I was like in my head rationalizing it too. Well, I'm paying $420 a month for this right now. This piece of equipment only cost me like $50 or maybe $100. So I spent a couple $100 on some additions to our gym setup that I've been using and have been great. And I'm committed to working out at home again. And it was fun to try the gym experience. And I got some nice coaching that I will, have continued to use at home in terms of how I'm doing stuff. And then now I have the Peloton coaching, which is also helping with my form and stuff like that.
That's cool. How do you, I know you were hesitant about the $50 a month subscription fee, but are you just going to make Greg like cut some supplements and then?
Yeah. Little less creatine. I don't feel anything about it, which means I feel good about it. Like I'm not even thinking about it. It gets hidden in my, that is a $600 a year expense out of our almost 200 grand that we spent last year. And I'm on an 18-day streak.
Don't forget to budget. You're on an 18-day streak. Oh, that's cute. I'm on like a 400-day streak. I'm just kidding. Sorry, not a competition. I'm just teasing. Now I can never lose my streak because I don't want Maggie to catch me. Okay. Can you make sure to budget for a trip for us to go to New York City to go meet Matt Wilpers in person and take his class in the studio in New York City?
Yeah. I already have.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Perfect.
Am I invited?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's invited.
You're probably going to get us VIP backroom access, Andrew. I'm be like, with the world champion cyclist over here.
Yeah.
You better put us in the front row.
I'm going to wear the rainbow jersey.
Perfect.
Yeah. Could you bring extra ones? I know you have like 12 of them for Liz and I to wear. Or is that like sacrilege? You can't wear it.
That is absolutely sacrilegious.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize.
It's like carrying the Stanley Cup before you win it.
Okay. I apologize for even suggesting it. That was very inappropriate.
We'll get tie-dye Inside Out Money jerseys, obviously, to wear to our indoor cycling class in New York City next door to the Whole Foods. It's going to be great.
Okay, Liz, what did you spend on health and fitness?
All right. I spent $3,846 on fitness-related things last year. That works out to about $320 a month. I copied Maggie and I bought a sauna this year. It was about $1,200. It's a little baby. It's like the size of a phone booth and it just fits in the corner of the closet. I also paid about $600 for my Peloton membership. I think I need to drop down to a lower membership because we didn't actually bring any of the physical equipment into when we moved. So there's like a cheaper version you can get, but I just haven't switched to it yet. I also spent, so we did go to New York City in the summer and took 5 classes live in the New York City studio. They actually only let you take 4, but we were there just kind of hanging around like big fan groupies. And there was a class that had 2 spots left in it. So we got to jump into that class and do 5 in the same weekend. However, we were not dressed for it. I was wearing jeans. And so we had to run up to the shop and spend another $176. My partner had to buy a shirt. I had to buy leggings and I just wore them with the t-shirt I had on so that I didn't have to take a spin class in jeans, and now they're kind of a souvenir. So, okay. Let's see. I signed up for private Pilates, which I'm going to continue this year. I only did 4 sessions last year, and that was $407 total for the 4 sessions. There was an introductory rate. I think it's like $150 per session. I could be wrong. I fell for 1 million Instagram ads. I swear this is like the only time I've ever gotten suckered into the ads, but I bought that scale that also tells you like your lean muscle mass and your water and your bone density and all the things. And then I also paid a membership for that, which was $105. And it's like fine. I probably wouldn't recommend it, but I don't know. I guess I know what my bone mass is now. And we also spent money on other in-person fitness classes. I'm big into going to like Pilates, bar studios, yoga.
Okay, one question for you. Would you recommend the Whom thing? Because I read about it and then I went and read reviews and I was like,
it's not terrible. The app's not great. I feel like it's just kind of a fancy scale. It's not junk, but it's not something I get a ton of value out of.
Okay, that sounds like okay, I get it.
If your neighbor was like giving one away, then yeah, like grab it, but it's not that exciting. And yeah. Okay. We also have a gym membership, but I actually get the membership for free for both of us through my job, which is nice because otherwise it would be like another $150 a month. And then my Oura Ring subscription, I would put in this bucket, which is $146 for both of us. It's 70 something. It's about $70 plus tax to have the Oura app. So I never thought to actually, I feel like a lot of these things live in different places, if that makes sense. Like I put sauna in household, the sort of Peloton membership goes in fitness. I think I put the Hume in in household or home furnishings or something. So anyways, Maggie, I'm glad that you asked us to do this. I hadn't sort of looked at it through this lens before.
Yeah, it's interesting to see it all totaled up.
I mean, obviously I feel good about it. This is like the best place any of us can spend money, right?
Right. Yeah, so we actually don't have anything in this category since all of my kids' stuff, all their sports stuff goes in kids' activities, and then all my cycling stuff I exclude because it's on the business side of things. So yeah, nothing to talk about really on this category.
That's impressive.
Thanks.
Given how active you are.
Well, yeah,
it's a business. He's in the business of being active.
I know. It's just interesting. Yeah. So I didn't quite do the assignment in the same way of breaking it out, but just looking at our fitness category, it's $3,949, which is mostly just a gym membership. The landlord and I both are members of Orange Theory. And a lot of that is not just Orange Theory. I was going to a yoga studio for a while, but I was paying a lot of money for classes that weren't that great. So I'm going to start going to our community center. Yeah, I also have an Aura ring, but it's in my personal budget. So I didn't include that in there. But I'm fine. Like I've always gone to a gym. I've always had a gym membership. It's like the way I prefer to work out and I use it. So I'm fine with that. That's like an expense I know that like is just always going to be there.
I think the key word is you use it. I think gym memberships are a great investment if you use it. It's when people are paying a bunch of money and then not actually going that it's unfortunate because it's just a bit of a wasted expense.
Yeah.
Erica, I would think Portland would be a good yoga town.
It is. It's I just don't want to drive all across town for yoga. I had a great studio I loved when I worked in an office. And I'm not going to drive 25 minutes across town for that.
Okay, well, speaking of driving to yoga, Erica, we're going to do car insurance next. Okay, we're paying $2,480 with Allstate for 2 Teslas that are like 2023 Teslas. And what's our deductible? It's high. It's like 5,000.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. That's a quick one. What do you have, Liz?
We're paying more than that, $4,000 a month, and we only have one car. It's like $300 a month. But I think when we bought the car, I had a loan on it for a year. We took about a year to pay it off, and I never dropped it down. You know how after your car's paid off, you don't have to have, I always forget what they're called, like collision or comprehensive or something. And so I think I need to go in and take those down because I actually don't, like the car's worth less than $30,000. And if it got totaled, I would be very sad, but I don't know that I want to pay this much money to like insure myself against that loss.
Yeah, I think car insurance is also one where like I often think mine is quite high. It looks less high now that I've seen yours though, but it feels high to me. But I also have shopped around a decent amount and it seems like, the rates are different in different markets. There's just, there's a lot of regional differences. And so I think on car insurance in particular, it's more as long as you feel like you've done some recent comparative shopping and it's if you ask people even in your own city that are similar ages with similar types of cars what they're paying, it's a good gut check of like if it feels about right. But I do think yours seems a little high, Liz. Who are you with, by the way?
We use USAA, so like I'm confident that it's not an issue with the carrier. They're always the cheapest, like they're really really good, and their service is just like amazing.
I do think they're fantastic. They're not always the cheapest. We have access to USAA too, and we've priced it. And I always get confused which, but our combined car and homeowners is more with USAA than Allstate for the exact same coverage. And one is more and one is less, but the combined total is, I think it's car. Car is significantly more with USAA for us. I'm not saying you shouldn't keep it. I'm just saying like it is worth shopping around for. I'm mentioning this to other people more so than you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to shop. I mean, I'll be very honest. I'm not going to. I've had the same car insurance through USA since I was a teenager, and it's almost like an emotional thing. Well, their homeowners insurance, I'm sure, is a lot less. I think I even talked about this on a podcast episode because we had a paperwork issue, so we couldn't get our home insured through USA. It's a very long story for like a year, and I had to go through State Farm, and it was that. I mean, I want to say it was like $5,000 or $6,000 more a year. It was bonkers. But anyways, I think it's more a matter of, I mean, do you have I should know what this is called. The like comprehensive or like if something.
We do. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It covers my car and.
Liz, you're still going to want to have that even on $30,000.
I would. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have
it
my other
on,
cars. Like once they were paid off, I was like, like.
If my car is worth like
my
10,000 or less, I would consider dropping it, but I still would probably keep it. Depends. They'll tell you the amount. Like I considered
they
even
tell you
dropping
exactly
it on my
what the
mom's
amount.
car. And it was like $50 at that point on her car. So I was like, well, let's leave it.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't have it on the Lexus towards the end of her life, but like always have it on like our other cars.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll take a look.
But it's it's a personal decision. It's insurance. You could afford the loss, and so if something did happen, you'd be fine.
Yeah, and it would still leave me in a situation. Obviously, if the accident wasn't like, I would still have insurance where if I caused an accident, it would pay for the other person's car. It just wouldn't pay for my own car if it was my fault. Like that's the only thing that I would be sort of cutting out and giving the amount we drive. Anyways. I got to look at the cost, but like $4,000 a month. I mean, $4,000 a year is
for one car.
That's
very expensive.
And that's what I mean is I think it's the level of coverage, and I think it's because an Audi, and it's like that thing has dropped so much in value since we bought it that I just don't.
Yeah,
think
I mean, you're paying
to have it that insured
almost 15% of the value of the car every year to insure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like it's not worth it.
It's high as a percentage. Okay, Andrew, what you got?
All right, ours is $1,700 for the year with Allstate. We have that's insuring 2 cars, a 2015 RAV4 and a 2018 Highlander. So probably approximately about $40,000 in value of those 2 cars together.
That's cheap.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do homeowners insurance. We are paying $2,930 a year for a 3,500 square foot home. We actually had to add our sunroof onto that. Our sunroom onto that. And that's in Atlanta, Georgia. We have a very old roof, which I recently learned is drastically increasing our price. And we have a very high deductible. I think it actually, is it 5K or 10? I think it might be 10K. Anyways, we have a very high deductible. And our price is going up to $3,500 next year in like a month. I just saw the quote that comes in February. And so I'm going to do a little bit of shopping around. Oh, no, it is. Okay, Greg confirmed $5,000 deductible. We are going to do a little bit of shopping around this year. And I just want to, and I've been talking to like some friends on what they're paying, and it's like, it's not crazy off, but I do like Allstate. We've been with them for a long time. I actually recently got hit by someone, and I'm like dealing with Progressive and their insurance company. And it just reminds me like how important it is to have a like good, solid insurance company for both people involved if something happens. Okay, Liz, what are you paying?
We pay a little bit less than that. It's $2,319 per year, but our deductible is quite high. I think the highest we are able to set it to is $20,000. And that's my MO, is to always just choose whatever the highest deductible is.
All right, and then ours is $3,745, which is, I always think it's high because it used to only be, when we first moved into this house, it was only $2,000, and then it has increased significantly when we were with State Farm, and then I reshopped it last year. I originally got a quote of $3,100, and then after I took pictures and they looked at the house, they came back and requoted it at $3,700. So I wasn't psyched about that, but it's the house is on the larger side, and so I think it's square footage, it's the bedrooms, bathrooms, just the size of the house. And we have a 13K deductible. I've thought about trying to increase that. You know, Liz, I've seen you at 20 and I've thought about trying to push that up higher.
At one point, it was actually like too high. I think we might have even had it higher than that, but our mortgage company
wouldn't let
okay
you.
with that.
The other thing that I think has hurt us is we did have a claim when our basement flooded. And so that's not helping the situation. So it wasn't a huge, it was probably 13,000, 14,000 was the claim when the water heater exploded and flooded our finished basement. So.
Yeah, that definitely will. Andrew, remind me what your square footage is.
It could be 5, 6. It's 6 bedrooms, 7 baths, and could be 5 or 6. It's a lot.
That's a lot of bathrooms.
Have you been in all those bathrooms
No,
before?
it's much. I mean, the previous owner did a big renovation, and you know, the house is much larger than what we need. It has the finished basement's the full footprint of the house, and so it has a large living area.
Do you and Crystal each have 2 bathrooms? like one to shower in, one to take a bath in?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't know. I never knew that about you. That is something I would have not have. I think if you met Andrew, you would not guess he's a guy who lives in a house with 7 bathrooms.
Well, Andrew, I'm coming to stay with you next time I'm taking a business trip to Atlanta.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, I'm passing on this one because obviously I don't know. So good show, everybody.
I hope this is a good reminder. I think a lot of people just find it interesting to see, like from a, financially voyeuristic way, just to see what other people are spending on stuff. But also comparatively, like sometimes you don't really know that you could save money on a bill till you see, oh wait, someone else is, has a cell phone and is on the same plan and, or insurance to compare. I mean, even Andrew and I being in the same market to kind of like when I see your insurance, I'm like, okay, it seems about right, except your house is like twice the size of mine. So it feels like mine actually might be a little high, and it validates my thinking that mine feels a little high. But I also know we have a really old roof. And anyways, my point is I hope people find this helpful because I do think aside from it just being interesting, it can be quite helpful to ask your friends what they're paying for certain things. I don't think it's overly personal to ask someone what they're paying for homeowners insurance, right? You're not asking them how much money they make for a living. You're asking them for commodity product that we all have to buy. And I think more people should feel encouraged to talk about money. And that simple question of like, oh, what are you paying for your cell phone bill? Or what's your auto insurance? Could then turn into much deeper conversations about money and what's important in life. And, I think it could like open the gates of having more financial conversations with friends.
I love this. Ask your friends how much their homeowners insurance costs, and it could change your life.
It could.
I was just going to say those types of things too, or you can get big savings and it has zero impact on your life, as opposed to materially reducing your spending on food could substantially change your lifestyle. But if you can save a few $100s a year on home insurance and still have your home insured, that's great. That's an easy win.
That's such a good point, Greg, because it's like changing habits versus just like taking a few minutes to call a company and like either negotiate down or make the switch, which I think is the game these days. You just have to like keep jumping around and they kind of expect that and build that in.
Yeah. And there are certain insurance companies, as an example, that it's not a negotiable price, but it is a different price. There are certain insurance companies where you as that customer profile and based on their actuary tables or whatever you call it, you will get a better price. Your profile of a person might get a better rate with one insurance company than another. And so it is worth doing a bit of shopping around. And, we had some friends that were paying like a really low rate and we were like, who are you with? And what's, and I got their contact info. And then it turns out theirs is actually about to double in price. So it's not a comparative piece. Right. And so I think it's worth asking around and asking questions and like double clicking on the details, because you can't just ask a price and then not ask the size of their home or what company they're with and what their deductible is. And again, I recently learned how much an old roof can add like $1,000+ to my annual cost, to the point where Gemini, who I listen to for all life advice lately, was telling me that it sounds like I'm like getting my horoscope read, was actually saying it might cost out to just proactively get a new roof because ours is so old, before we are like forced to from water leaks, to just get one, and our insurance savings alone might obviously not pay for it, but it would just be worth it. So, okay. I think we're done, y'all. We've spent 3 hours reviewing expenses. Congratulations to everyone else got to split this up over 2 weeks, but we did this all in one sitting, and I think we're all tired, hungry, thirsty, and we appreciate you listening. And for all this work, I really feel like now is when you should go leave us a review, right? It's 2026. It's a new year. We just opened up our entire expenses to you all. And go let us know if you enjoy and appreciate this podcast, and you can leave us a written review on Apple Podcasts. It is one of the most helpful things you can do for us to help grow the podcast, or you can share it with a friend. Both of those things are really helpful.
A cool friend, a nice friend, someone who's going to leave us a review.
If you have thoughts or questions, we'd love to hear from you, and you can leave a voicemail or text us at 404-981-3370 or hit us up on Instagram.
Do it.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
We did it.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.